If we bet on Sam Houston State today, whether it wins the squad route or not, but if we bet on Sam Houston State today and they don't cover and they don't win, I will buy a Sam Houston State jersey and wear it for a week on stream, looking like a fucking idiot. Yeah, he's a moose shit coach. He's a terrible coach. Get Ron Rivera out of here. I'm not even saying to hand the keys over to Bieniemy yet. All I'm saying is this is not our head coach. This is not a winner. This is not our guy. Listen up. All right, take a little mental screenshot of this one. Boop. Give me the Ravens laying 3. Come on, it's got to be Baltimore must play here. They're winning this game big. It's going to be an under game. They're going to be running the shit out of the ball, and they're going to win this game by 5+, maybe 10+. I mean, if you have to listen to Jameis Winston for advice on the sidelines during a game, that's probably when you got to hang him up and maybe go with a different game plan here, Javon, because if he's seeing something that Derek Carr and the coach aren't, that's an issue to me.
That's just Jimmy Butler activities, man. I just don't know if I can click a square and just say, you know what? I'm going to go to the grave with Jimmy Butler today when I see that cut, that profile.
I'm watching them rock down. Brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying to savor it.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 356 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Props.Cash. Chat, if you guys aren't using Props.Cash to lock in and smack prize picks or lock into the books and hit player props, what the fuck are you doing? Do you live under a rock? I promise if you test it out, you're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. And you're going to hit more slips. Okay, it's that simple. Go check out Props.Cash. If you guys are sending prize picks and you haven't checked it out and used our promo code for a very cheap month to test it out and see if it helps you find more winners, what are you waiting for? Figure it out. Grow up. Cop the subscription. It's cheap. All right. You want to hit more prize picks entries? Boom. You buy Props.Cash for a month. You test it out. It's that simple. Javon, it was never the Chiefs last night, brother. Ever.
Never was.
I guess squares get rewarded with Eagles ML, and the easiest spot ever, just fade the Chiefs and back in the best team in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know about you guys, but I've watched this team play, I think, all but one game this season. They just have not looked good. They cannot keep getting away with it. I don't understand how they keep getting away with it. It's not like the Chiefs played great in the second half either. They really didn't. They played terrible, but let's not act like the Eagles went out there and won that game and stole it from the Chiefs. The Eagles continuously skate by and pull out these crazy late comeback wins. I can't make it make sense. All I know is once we get to the playoff time, that might not work out as well for the Birds as the people are thinking. Once we get around the corner here into the new year and they have to match up against some pretty darn good teams and defenses in the playoffs, the way Jalen Hurts has been playing, I don't know if I'd want to be putting my coins on that squad down the stretch. But right now, they continue to win. And if you bet the Eagles last night, you are a rich man, and you are not a fool like me who has a Chiefs ML ticket. Javon, thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, both these teams played absolutely terrible. I guess the weather had a little bit to do with that. Plus, I mean, both teams coming off a bye week, the defenses were good despite both quarterbacks playing pretty terribly. So, yeah, I mean, they can't say they went out and won that game. The Chiefs definitely lost that game a little bit more, but we'll find out about the Eagles in the next 2 weeks. Not that this wasn't a good win for them, but the spots that I was really looking forward to are at home against the Bills, where I've really been looking forward to fading them next week, and then against the Niners. So they go 3-0 during this little 3-week stretch. Then give them their respect, but that ain't happening.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're winning games, so I'll give them respect because they deserve it. All that matters is the record in the regular season at the end of the day, staying healthy and your records. But I think we can all agree that the product on the field this season has taken a step back from last year where the Eagles looked unstoppable and elite. This season, they're still unstoppable and elite, but the product doesn't look as good, but they're still getting the wins. So I will tip my cap. You guys know I fucking hate that team, but their O-line is so fucking good. Jalen Hurts has not looked as sharp as he did last year. Maybe last season was an anomaly. I don't know. He had one of the best seasons QB I've ever seen.
He's definitely hurt. He sucks. He's been awful.
Okay. Thank you for backing me up on that because no one else has in the last 3 months. And I'm starting
if you don't watch that game and say that Jalen Hurts is definitely hurt, not even just because like he is not making the same throws. He doesn't look like he's stepping into as many throws. He's had like a couple good deep shots here and there the last couple weeks. Like he had the deep shot to Devontae, but other than that, he just looks off like the last couple of weeks. And like the play calling is not the same too. They're being a little more conservative with him, it seems like at times. So there's definitely some injury going on there.
Still the favorite to win the MVP. Z-Bully's talking about in chat. That is crazy. I mean, look at the records.
He is after last night.
It's a narrative award. As of right now, you should be. Len Bong coming in, giving a subby. What's up, Len? People forget we do it all for you. All right, chat, do not forget that. Let's get some W's for Len going in chat. Right now, I'm sweating out this App State and UNCW under Javon that looked great at the start. And now these teams have turned into the 2015 Golden State Warriors, and UNCW is full court pressing, getting steals and free layups. So this under looked great at the start. Javon not looking too hot right now. I think it's 34-24 with 4 minutes left in the first half. I don't know if you ended up taking anything in that game, but that's what I'm sweating out right now, chat. All right, if you're trying to get in live, find some cheese. I'm on the under in UNCW and App State, two new shit teams. All right. Javon, we've got a lot to talk about today. Let's go ahead and do the L recap and get it over with. Goots, throw that puppy up there. That's some X's. I don't like seeing that. Javon, the Bruins. Sure. We're never taking a square bet like that ever again on the squad ride. I'm going to put my foot down. It just never felt right.
That's fair.
Never felt right. Fair. Was it fluky? Was it beat? Yes. 100% it was, Javon. That was fucking ass, the way they lost that game. But that's what we get for taking a play like the Bruins on the ice last night. Can't say you haven't been hot as fuck on the ice, though, recently. So we stick with the plays. We trust our guns. You've been killing it on the ice. Let's not let one loss let us waver here or think any differently. We'll bounce back on the ice today. Javon, Florida State, great call. Unbelievable size for that team. They got it done. Stonehill melted, though. I got through the net, -5, sure, but the Chiefs spelled wrong there. That was already a terrible sign. And then Kelsey, more than 75.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelsey.
He locked.
I've been thinking a lot about Travis Kelsey the last couple hours, Javon. Probably a little too much. Goots, I'm feeling pissed off right now. Run the shit. Travis Kelce, was he even at the game last night, folks? Oh, he was in the biggest moment, Javon, when he started showing up in the second half. And what does this guy do? He fucking fumbles in the red zone when the Chiefs need him most. Mahomes is reliable safety net. Travis Kelce, sure. I don't know about you guys, but I'm down to roast somebody else besides an Eagles player today. There's something going on here with Travis Kelce and this Chiefs offense. Maybe it's because their OC is over here in D.C. with me now. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but their offense has taken a step back this season. Mahomes, I think we can all agree he has not looked as sharp this year. It can't just be roasting Jalen Hurts. Mahomes has also not been as dialed and as locked as he's been in years past. But that defense has been carrying the Chiefs. And honestly, I think that defense is going to do wonders for this team once the playoffs get going and this offense starts figuring this shit out. But I'll tell you who needs to figure it the fuck out, Javon. It's Travis Kelce. He needs to get his priorities straight. Is he a star tight end in the NFL? Is he the best player on this offense? Is he the number 2 man behind Patrick Mahomes? Is he a Hall of Fame tight end? Or is Travis Kelce just Taylor Swift's boyfriend? I'm getting to the point where I don't know how fucking dialed this man is. Look, chat, he's a human being. He only has 24 hours in the day. What is he supposed to do? I know he's got a PR team. I know he's got people working for him. But at the end of the day, he's a busy man. And he's been spending a lot of time, Javon, on bullshit. He's been spending a lot of time on commercials, a lot of time on his fucking shitty podcast that's only popular because he's dating Taylor Swift. He's been spending a lot of time on other shit besides football. And I'm fucking tired of watching this dude and seeing his face in every commercial, in the middle of games when he's out there playing like rat shit. The guy looks like he's lost a step. He looks like he hasn't been practicing. He looks like a shell of himself right now over the last month. Travis Kelce looks washed. And maybe it's not the physical play. Maybe it's all mental because he seems to have his mind in the fucking gutter, Javon. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of hearing about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And if there's going to be talk like this, more about that than the game, at least fucking play well, dudes. Because they're acting like you're the greatest player to ever exist. And right now you're playing like rat shit and you're costing your team games. If I was on the Chiefs, I'd be pretty fucking fed up right now with Travis Kelce. Because he's spending a lot of time on other bullshit. He's flying around the world going to concerts. He's doing his media shit. He's doing his podcasts. He's doing his commercials. You know what he's not fucking doing? Hitting his receiving yards prop. You know what he's not fucking doing? Scoring multiple touchdowns and helping his team win a game. You know what he's not doing? Keeping his mind right and his priorities straight and locking in during the fucking NFL season. Travis Kelce right now has his mind in the gutter. He cannot be less locked. And the one fucking time I take this guy's receiving yard square, Javon, the one time I take it, I swear to God, I've never taken this motherfucker ever besides fading him. What does he do? He looks like he's got other shit on his mind. He's absolutely getting strapped up like no other. I mean, I'd rather have Logan Thomas out there in that game in that spot. At least he'd be fucking focused. I'm tired of Travis Kelce getting talked about. I'm tired of the Taylor Swift bullshit. And if it's going to be talked about as much as the game, at least fucking play well. I'm sick of it. You cost your team the game. If I was Pat Mahomes, I'd be sitting him down right now and say, hey, come over here, buddy. We're actually in the middle of a season right now. You can't be flying to Argentina and focusing on this bullshit. We have to go win another Super Bowl because you're the best tight end in football, and I need you fucking focused. Right now, he's not. He's playing like shit, and it shows. It shows. Anybody who disagrees is wrong. Travis Kelce, maybe he's not washed, but his mind is definitely in the fucking gutter, Javon. And I'm tired of watching this guy get talked about like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then go out there and fumble and cost the team a win and play like rat shit. I'm tired of it.
I think he's also definitely hurt too, not just because he got hurt in the middle of that game, but he's had the lingering injury for really the entire season. He missed the Lions game at the start of the season, and I don't think he looked healthy for a little bit, and now he's gotten hurt a couple of times in game and hasn't really looked the same since. So I think it's probably another Jalen Hurts situation where he's not fully healthy, and you can kind of see that because he's not like a super explosive guy in general, but he doesn't look as explosive off his breaks and really after the catch too. So there's definitely something going on there with him too, but he hasn't been good. Nobody's been good. A lot of responsibility on him when nobody else on that team catches the ball.
I mean, the guy is talking about retiring before a Monday Night Football game. If I'm a coach, if I'm a teammate, I'm thinking in my head, this guy doesn't fucking get it. No wonder why this kid got kicked off his college football team. He doesn't fucking get it. And maybe he's gotten away with it in recent years, Javon, because his talent is unbelievable and he's one of the greatest tight ends to ever walk this earth. But right now, it's not. And if he's hurt, I don't know. If I'm hurt, I'm probably staying home and recovering and spending some extra time reading the fucking playbook and getting ready for the games to make sure I'm extra prepped if I'm not 100% healthy to make sure I can help my team. I'm not flying to Argentina for a fucking Taylor Swift concert. Grow the fuck up. You have a job to do. Priorities. Travis Kelce sucks.
With that being said, he is soaring over his props next week.
I'm sure he will after this talk.
Not even just the talk. The matchup's significantly better too. So I will gladly bet on the Kelce bounce back next week.
Okay. All right, chats. If you guys disagree, I don't give a shit. I'm right. You're wrong. Let's move. Let's groove. Javon, why not talk about some CBB today? We got plenty of games, tons of action, a lot of tournaments, a lot of early games, a lot of late games. And like I talked about, chats, I'm sweating out this under in App State and UNCW, and it's about to get a half, 34-33. I'm the mathematician, but that might be on pace, folks. Under 137.5. Somebody crunch those numbers. We're right around the number. All right. Javon, a lot of games already started up right now. A lot of moose shit games, to be honest with you. I haven't missed many great ones. Let me know if I skip any that you want to go over, but we'll start with the early games coming up soon. Syracuse, Gonzaga. Probably the best game starting up soon. What's up?
There's this early one that I have a play in that literally in the past 20 minutes, this total in this McNeese game has gone down to 1.5, which is pretty fat. I took that under at 136.5. It's down to 135 up on the green book, it says.
Whoa.
I just feel like I've seen that story before in that game. I think it's going to be like Texas State plays super, super slow. And if you make McNeese play in the half court with the guards that they have, they need to get out in space. And if they're not able to do that, it's going to be a much slower game where they're going to have to work a little more inside, which is kind of what Texas State wants them to do. So I like McNeese in that game, but I think it's going to be super close. Feels like a 64, 60 type game. Maybe it lands right on 4, and you see a super low total, low scoring game there at a neutral court. It is. They're playing at, I think, Louisiana Tech and Ruston. So I think that's a weird game. I'm really intrigued. I like the under, but that total going down to 135 right before tip is interesting.
Yeah, that shit's about to smack. Love that late line movement before the CBB game starts up here in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
13 minutes. Chat, if you're looking for a little day game action, looking for a play starting up soon, just trying to feel something, maybe you tap into a little Texas State, McNeese State under, because there's some steam absolutely cooking on that under. Great
fat
steam. I mean, it's still moving. Now I'm seeing 134.5. Jesus.
Jeez.
That thing is cooking. Do I need to get in on this?
Might have to.
Too late?
Good.
All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Syracuse and Gonzaga. Javon. Gonzaga, I think they bounce back today. I'm thinking about laying the number here. I think Gonzaga and Graham Ike, who got their lunch money taken by Purdue, bounces back in this spot against the Syracuse team that clearly has still not figured it out. They got their fucking dicks kicked in by Tennessee yesterday. I mean, absolute masterclass by the Volunteers. I want to keep fading the Syracuse team that has high expectations, has a loaded roster with transfers, but has a new coach and is yet to figure out what to do with these rotations and lineups and figure out how to get the most out of the squads. Syracuse has really been a disappointment so far this season. They have yet to even cover. And typically I wouldn't like fading a team like that, but with Gonzaga also coming off a bad loss to Purdue, I'm willing to back them. And I thought that spread was pretty fat as well between these two teams. I know Gonzaga's ranked, but Syracuse, the way their lines have been set all season, they've been getting some respect, and they're still 3-1. And that line keeps moving towards Gonzaga from 11.5 to 12.5. Let's keep fading Syracuse until they figure it out. And let's back Gonzaga in a bounce back spot here with Graham Ike and Cup.
Yeah, it does feel weird that this is at the same exact number that the Tennessee game was at against Syracuse yesterday. I guess opened a point shorter, but now it's up to 12.5, which is the same spot. And Tennessee is very obviously, I mean, I guess early season you could argue that they've shown that they could be a comparable offense to Gonzaga, even though I think we all know that's not exactly the case. But defensively, they're much, much better. And that's why Syracuse got held to 56 points, right around where Gonzaga was yesterday. So that's it's definitely an interesting line, I would say. I wouldn't be shocked if we see some pretty good defense in this game from Gonzaga, which can only say that so many times with a 160 total. But I do think they'll be better. I think Syracuse is not hitting shots today, so I'd love to lay the 12.5.
That is a fat total. Holy smokes. Good eye, ref. You're not wrong. That total's fat, especially with Syracuse coming off of 2 unders. And we've got Purdue and Gonzaga coming off an under as well, although these teams match up more for points in this spot. We'll probably get an over in this game too. I wouldn't mind taking that either, but my favorite play in this game is to lay it with Gonzaga. I think it's sharp. That spread is fat, and for good reason. They're going to destroy Syracuse today, who's still trying to figure out their rotations. All right. Florida State, Colorado. We going back to the well here with the Seminoles, Jamal?
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea necessarily. I think Colorado, after watching them for times this season, I mean, they're a team that seems very overrated to me, not similarly to like their football team, obviously, because they do have some talent. Like I love Tristan Da Silva. I despise Eddie Lampkin because he is not very good. And there's obviously a storyline there. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a storyline there, but he's just a super selfish player. But that's the kind of conversation for a different day. But Tristan Da Silva, I love. KJ Simpson, I love when he's on. Like yesterday against Richmond, he was on. He had 23, 6 for 11 from the floor. So Florida State, the problem is, like the same reason I liked them yesterday, their length and athleticism is going to cause Colorado issues, which that's exactly, especially with Tristan Da Silva, because he's so big, so athletic. That's what causes a lot of matchup problems for Colorado when they're up against teams that are a little smaller on the inside and can't really run with Tristan Da Silva. Florida State is quite literally, you watch them, they are a team of football players playing basketball. There is no team, no matter how skilled you are, that you're going to be more athletic than Florida State when you step onto the court with them. The problem with Florida State is just sometimes they can't shoot. So if they can get to the rim, which they can be, because realistically, Colorado's perimeter defense is not great, that's where they're going to find a little bit of success there. So another game where I think FSU's athleticism on the defensive end is going to keep them in a game.
Okay. All right. Florida State, a bunch of giants running around. That's going to be a tough matchup for Colorado and your buddy down there. He found a perfect home in Colorado. If you're talking about him being selfish, that should work out well.
Yeah, it should be great.
Akron Drake, that line is down to 1.5 now. Interesting. Thought about taking a stab at Akron. Definitely a honorable mention / lean for me here with Akron and the points against a Drake team that's continuously overvalued and overrated in the betting market because they do have Tucker DeVries, who's an absolute stud. And this Akron team, though, I mean, all they do is win, and they don't even have a lot of their guys yet this season, Javon. A lot of them haven't even gotten their eligibility waived yet or cleared, but they've still been winning games. They're sitting at 4-1 right now, and I want to fade Drake with the splits looking sharp on Akron and Zips. I know it's not a road game. It's neutral sites, which is fine, but this Drake team continues to not cover, continues to be overvalued by the betting markets. They just don't look as sharp as they did last season. I'm not afraid to fade DeVries right now.
I'm definitely not afraid to fade Drake's defense because it looks horrendous this season, especially like from 3. I was reading something the other day or yesterday before their game, and they're giving up one of the highest like open rate 3-point percentages in all of college basketball. And Akron, like yesterday, they were horrendous from 3 against Utah State. Try to find the exact numbers you can find. They shot 5 of 24 from 3. And they're a team who's not a bad 3-point shooting team. So against a team that's going to give you plenty of open looks from 3 and Drake, if those are falling, this game could get a little out of hand, I think, early. So I definitely think this line is coming down for a reason. It's a tough spot, I guess you could say, to bet on 3-point positive regression in a neutral site game. But again, for all the looks that I think Akron's going to get from behind the arc, it's probably not a bad spot to do it.
Best player right now in Akron, until we see some of these guys get their waivers approved, it's got to be Enrique Freeman in the paint for those boys. He should be able to lock up DeVries, at least relatively. And he's also coming off a 25 pace in his last game. So Enrique's feeling good. He's feeling dangerous, leading this team in the paint. They have some decent big bodies down there in the paint, and they're still winning without a couple of their guys, Ali, who I still don't think has gotten his waiver accepted yet. Right, Javon? Can you confirm with me on that or back me on that? I still don't think it's gotten approved. And they're still getting it done. This is a team I had circled to potentially win this conference before the season. And if we see Ali return to the lineup at some point, coming back over from Butler, this team will be even more dangerous down the stretch. But right now, I still think they have enough weapons and enough big bodies in the paint to slow down DeVries. He's really their only piece that they have this season left.
Yeah, and don't sleep on our other man. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'm trying to look it up. But the guy who plays the 4 for Akron, Sammy Hunter. Sammy Hunter is the guy.
It's got to be Sammy Hunter.
Yeah, I would like Sammy Hunter because he's going to be playing I don't know. They're probably going to switch Brody on between him and Enrique Freeman for a little bit, depending on where they play. But Sammy Hunter is going to be – he's like the guy who shot the most threes for that team this season. So if you're going to get plenty of open looks, and he's going to be going against a majority of the time, I would say, a much smaller defender, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the guy to kind of take advantage of all that and have a pretty good game.
Okay. And yeah, chat, let's not talk about Howard and the blue balls from yesterday. That was brutal.
So much blue balls.
And Z-Bully, I promise we will talk about that JMU game. Okay. Any opinions on UCLA Charminade? I wouldn't mind laying it with the Bruins after Charminade hung around and was almost winning at halftime against Kansas in that game and ended up still losing by like 30 or 40. So they came back down to earth. Maybe there was some magic in the first half. We know they're hosting this tournament. They probably had some confidence. They were feeling good. But that kind of rubbed off in the second half of that game last night. And I would not mind laying it with UCLA here at a decent number inside 30. It probably would have been around 35 if Charminade didn't fucking hang around in the first half of that game against Kansas last night. I think you lay it with the Bruins here.
Yeah, my only concern was, I was thinking about adding this to my best bets, is they played at what? I don't know what local time that is last night, but they played super late game, like U.S. regular time last night. Now this is a relatively early game for UCLA. So, like, especially when I guess he'd be banking on a little bit of defensive intensity from that team, because that's how they win and that's how they dominate. That quick little turnaround scares me a little bit, just a little bit. I know Chaminade played right before that game against Kansas, so it's not like they have that much of an advantage, but it just felt like a little bit of a weird spot to me, because I don't know if I could trust their defense. I guess you could trust in any scenario going up against Chaminade, but offensively, I was a little concerned there, I guess you could say.
Okay.
They are just so much bigger than Chaminade, though.
Yeah. And I don't really see a world where Boner doesn't hit his PRI in this spot, even though he played late last night. I don't even give a hoot. He probably will. All right. Sure. Lay with UCLA, but be hesitant. That is an early game for them out there in Hawaii after a late night game last night. Kind of weird spot. Maybe that's why the total's that short. I don't know. But I still lean the Bruins.
Yeah. I said total's dropping too, which is probably right.
All right. JMU and SIU. Javon. We've still got a ranked JMU Dukes team that we can continue to fade. Any opinions on this game today as they face off against the Salukis, the best mascot names in college basketball?
Yeah, don't say we can continue to fade. I think you can continue to fade. I think I've resigned until I find a spot that I really, really like. Fading JMU. Now, I mean, it's not the day-to-day for me, but I know it is for you, and you can tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, the Salukis team, do not be fooled by their 91 piece they put up against Queens. That was not because of their fast tempo or pace. That was because they're fucking good. This team is slow. And what they're going to do against JMU, Javon, is they're going to slow them down and make this game extremely uncomfortable for the Dukes, exactly like Radford did in that contest where Radford almost won and covered with ease in that last game. Guys, JMU, the Magic, it's starting to fade a little bit here. I'm not saying that Fats Edwards isn't one of the best guards in the country. He is. Don't get me wrong. JMU has some really good players, and their program is on the come-up. I just think they're a little bit overvalued here against an older, defensive-minded, slow Salukis team who has impressed me on offense so far this season. I'm not going to lie. Xavier Johnson has been carrying this offense, the fifth-year senior point guard for the squad, who's stepping up and really balling this season. I mean, he absolutely dominated against Queens. I think he does much of the same against this JMU team that doesn't play like a defense. And I'll tell you what, the Salukis, they're not a fun team, but they're an old team. They're defensive-minded, and they've got some big enough bodies there in the paint against a smaller JMU squad that's very guard-heavy anyways, where I don't see any problems with size in this contest. Give me the points with the Salukis, 2 undefeated teams on CBS Sports Network tonight at 6:30 Eastern or 6 p.m. Eastern. One of the best games of the day today. Do not let this one get swept under the rug, folks. Even if you're not betting it, it's going to be a very entertaining game. I think SIU mucks it up. I love that total's come down 3 points, Javon. That's a great sign for the Salukis here, because if JMU wants to win this game, it's going to have to go over. They're going to have to win with pace and plenty of shots and possessions. I don't think the Salukis are going to let them do that. One of the slower teams in D1. I give an edge to them. I always give an edge to the slower team against a fast, high-tempo squad who's ranked for no reason. Okay, new system I'm starting up today.
I don't hate that. You might have convinced me.
Sure. Do not sleep on Xavier Johnson. He has been on one, bro. On one. All right. Any other opinions on that game?
No, I think I'm right. Might be right with you. You talked me into it.
Okay. Any opinions on UNLV and the Spiders playing today?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like what I
Besides the
talked
line flip.
about. Yeah, besides the line flip, but like I talked about with FSU yesterday in that game, like UNLV, they're like a FSU junior. They need a team that's a little smaller to where guys like, Jalen Hill can go in there and get to the rim and just dominate with heart, hustle, and size. So you definitely can't do that against FSU. Against Richmond, they're no slouch, I guess, defensively and size-wise, but it's definitely a little better of a matchup for UNLV. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the bounce-back game. I guess the line flip would kind of indicate that as well, being a possibility, but I would certainly have to lean UNLV in this game. I think Richmond's going to slow it down a little bit for UNLV because they can't afford to let them get it out of it in transition, so it's going to be ugly, but I definitely lean the Rebels.
So do I. I don't love the Rebels. I don't know if I'm going to get to the counter with the Rebels.
Yeah, I don't love it either.
I lean them. I do here. The Spiders have taken a step back this season, and yes, they do get their coach back, which is huge. Chris Mooney in his 19th season, I believe, or 20th season. He's been there fucking forever. Had some heart issues last year, and that sucked because their team was pretty good, and they had a chance, and he had to deal with medical stuff. But he's back this year. That's a W for that program. But what's not a W for this program is the fact that they lost Burton and a lot of other key guys this season, Matt Grace and Nelson as well. They do have a 7-footer still. Neil Quinn is still in the paint. The guy's a fucking behemoth. So I don't think it's that much of a mismatch for the Spiders against UNLV, but I just think this team and the odds makers have not adjusted to the new squad this season where they don't have a playmaker. They don't have a scorer. They don't have a guy like Burton who can go out there and really, score from anywhere and take over this offense and get a bucket when they need one. Nobody has stepped up on this team yet. They have a lot of old guys, though, which scares me because they're smart, but they're not athletic. They have a little bit of size, but this roster overall has taken a step back for Richmond. I root for Richmond low-key. My aunt went there. They're kind of local to me. They're a Virginia school. I want them to do well, but this season I'm not liking the outlook for the squad, and I like the line flip for UNLV and that big-ass team out there. So I do think they win this game and cover, but I'm not loving it enough to maybe get to the counter. Okay?
Yeah, same headspace there.
Fire. Not taking the bait on Detroit today as a favorite when they're 0-4. That is literally just some line that's probably being affected by last year's team and their star who's gone. Not taking the bait. Although I want to, but I'm not doing it.
That's fair.
TCU today against Alcorn State. Wagon?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a pretty big blowout spot. Alcorn State's in a weird, I guess, position too, where I think this is 4 in a row on the road for them. Yeah, they went to Arkansas State, they went to UAB, they went to Michigan State. Now they're coming down to Fort Worth. So, I mean, it's the last game of that little 2-week road stand that they have in TCU. They've been experimenting with some rotations the last couple of games, and you can very clearly see which one is working best. So rounding into they have 2 games here against like Alcorn and Houston Christian before they go to a couple of the bigger games in Georgetown. They go to Clemson, or not to Clemson, but they go to Toronto to play Clemson and Arizona State. So a couple of bigger games. I think they're going to start to really get those better rotations figured out and play them more in these next couple of games. So I mean, I don't want to just keep taking TCU as a big favorite, but that's definitely the spot to do it, I would argue.
Yeah, why not one more time? Why not us?
Yeah, maybe 2. That Houston Christian is terrible. So
all right.
Maybe
the
next 2 times. 2 times.
Sure. All right, chats. Let's talk about a game that people care about. Tennessee and Purdue. Ooh, this is a pretty good contest, Javon. Not your typical Tennessee team that's huge. Purdue, we know what to expect from them. They are huge. I mean, they have Zach Edey, so I guess that makes their team big. And then they have very inconsistent guards who can drop 30 pieces together or drop goose eggs. A very inconsistent offense, at least with those guards. Edey, extremely consistent, though. I like Purdue in this spot. I don't know if I love them. I don't know if I want to play them. I like the move from 2 to 4, or at least up to 3.5 here for Purdue. And I just don't see anybody on this Tennessee roster being able to slow down Zach Edey in the paint with his stupid little hook shots. I'm leaning Purdue here in this spot. And Tennessee coming off a dominant win in that last one, in my opinion, where they look great. This much of a dog against the Purdue squad who never really gets any respect. I don't know if the line is super fat, but I wouldn't say it's short. Definitely lean the Boilermakers here.
Calling Tennessee here. Because like I think what we saw last night from Gonzaga, which I guess worked in some part, like at the beginning of the game a little bit, and then it kind of faded off. But they just said, "Hey, we're gonna let Zach Edey go 1-on-1 because nobody else can beat us, and we'll see where it goes from there." And Tennessee, obviously a much better defensive team, both scheme wise and in personnel. I don't think they're going to let that happen. I think they're going to be much more satisfied with doubling Edey a little bit, getting the ball out of his hands, and say, "Hey, one of you Purdue guards who is very inconsistent, any one of them could have like a game, but I'm sure they would feel more comfortable putting the ball in their hands. When do you do it?" So like that's kind of what I see happening in this game. I think it's going to be maybe a little higher scoring initially, partially led by Tennessee, kind of in the onset there in the first half. And then we'll see how the defense kind of adjusts. But that's the game plan I kind of see them going with, which I guess everybody tries to do at some point against Purdue, and it doesn't really work 100% of the time. But a team that is defensively built like Tennessee in that system, I will trust money to say it's going to happen.
Every single time I make a wager that involves UNCW, I lose.
It's Moose.
Every single time. Whether I take them, whether I fade them, whether I'm taking the over, whether I'm taking the under, I lose. Every single time. Clockwork. Doesn't even fucking make sense why that total was that low. It should have been 20 points higher. Fuck that, dudes. Fucking squares are getting rewarded for no reason, bro. Lazy ass capping, getting wins. It's fucking bullshit. It really is. Like, the squares do not deserve to be cashing on these fucking easy ass plays. A monkey could log into a fucking betting app and click the buttons that the squares are doing, and they'd have the success rate, and they'd be moving into their own fucking mansion in Cabo. It's bullshit. I'm tired of the squares, brother.
Every sport has those little streaks.
I'm tired of it. Lemoyne plus 11.5 against Cal State Northridge.
No, I took Northridge.
You're actually laying it with Northridge?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Northridge.
Well, I mean, first of all, Lemoyne, spot-wise, I mean, they've actually looked, I don't want to say not horrendous, but they've looked significantly better the last couple of games, which, I mean, the last game they pushed or covered, depending on what line you got, and then they covered, obviously, against San Diego. I think you pointed that one out, which was a good call, which the game against San Diego, and really, I guess, some of the game, that picture is so funny. Absolutely so funny. But yeah, that game and then the game for a little bit against Santa Barbara, they're able to work inside a little bit with two of their big men like Sunderland and Owens, both had pretty solid games for part of them inside. Like Northridge is not going to let that happen. First of all, I mean, they're going to play a little bit out of control, which usually doesn't work to their advantage, but it kind of does. Like, they get teams into the half court and then they run this like ridiculously fast pick and roll, which gets a lot of teams out of position, and they haven't been hitting shots and haven't been getting good looks so far. But when you have a team like Lemoyne, who I briefly watching them have not seen many more teams out of position nearly as much on defense as they are, there's going to be plenty of open shots. So like I'll gladly fade them. Also, like Northridge has not had any trouble keeping guys off the 3-point line, and Lemoyne, literally all they do is chuck threes. So give me that. I think there's going to be points in this game too. I don't mind an overlook that's creeped up a little bit. I think Northridge, with that little half-court push pace thing that they do, it's going to force Lemoyne to play with a little bit of pace themselves. So I think this is going to be a semi-exciting game for a little bit.
That team couldn't even make layups in the first game of the season. You're going to put money on their offense? I will wish you the best of luck.
It doesn't really have to be on them too much. I mean, Northridge can come out here and drop 95 if they want to.
Okay. All right. What about Fresno and New Mexico State? I'm seeing some of my local sharps in chat talking about New Mexico State in the spot. And also, what's up, Mush? I just saw you in chat. Yes, unfortunately, I am wearing the Sam Houston State jersey all week because of my actions. So can't blame anybody else but myself for that one. And we're here. So rocking it all week. It is what it is. I kind of get blessed, though, because there's Thanksgiving on Thursday, so short week. New Mexico State spread is where I'm leaning. But I don't know if I want to fade Fresno right now.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to do that either. If I had to take a side, it would probably be New Mexico State. But I think this game's going to get weird, gross. That total's come down a pretty fat amount of points too, like 6. So I mean, it's probably not a game that I want too much to do with.
Okay. Yeah, if that total's coming down, that might be a lean, or that might be beneficial to Fresno. which is a little concerning, but that spread is
Definitely
coming down
would.
towards New Mexico. So, Crabs, I want you to know I went to dinner on Saturday in Dallas. The table next to me was a full family wearing all Sam Houston State apparel. Sure. Okay. Good people down there. Yeah, Fruity, I was trying to maybe get down there to Sam Houston, maybe check out a CBB game, and then I realized how far it is and how much I just didn't want to do that, to be honest with you. I just don't. I feel like I've done my job here to support this program and this brand. I don't really need to do anymore. What do you think, Javon? You agree?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you need to rush the counter for that one.
You want to go to a game? Should I fly down real quick and we can go hit one?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You know, we should do. Let's go to their last football game of the season.
Yeah, should do that.
We could.
Or we go next year to their basketball schedule when they play Lemoyne.
Yeah,
get that to happen.
Yeah, or I could rip my eyeballs out of my fucking head and never watch a game ever. I could do either of those, and they'd probably be about equally as fun for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus, you're
let's talk about Kansas and Marquette. How about that? Let's stop talking about eyeballs getting ripped out. Let's start talking about Kansas and Marquette, Javon. Kansas up to 4.5 from the 3 opener. That was briefly there. I feel like Sharps maybe steamed Kansas up, or maybe everyone and their mother bet Kansas when this line opened up either early this morning or last night. But we typically know that early money isn't dumb money. Usually late money is dumb money. So I'm leaning towards Kansas being the sharp side here. I know they're going to be public. I know Marquette pulled out a win by the skin of their fucking teeth last night against a really gritty, well-coached, defensive-minded UCLA team. Once again, Marquette did their jobs. They got a win, and they impressed me. Both those teams impressed me. Very rarely do you watch a college basketball game where one team loses, one team wins, and both teams impressed me. But in that spot, they kind of did, both in their own way. I kind of want to fade Marquette here in this spot, though, Javon, and maybe lay it with Bill Self in Kansas. But I don't know if I can look myself in a mirror with a ticket backing that piece of shit Hunter Dickinson in the paint, who thinks he's literally Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But in reality, he's pretty shitty.
A little bit. Just a little bit. And I got to say, I was pretty impressed by Marquette, just like you were, especially against like a really tough UCLA defense. And the thing is, like Kansas in defense and the perimeter is good, but they play at such a fast pace sometimes that the possessions get up, which is why you see a 157 total in this game. Obviously, their offense can score. But they play so fast that it kind of plays into the hands of a team like Marquette when you have a Tyler Kolek-led offense where he can break down a defense better than really anybody in college basketball, you could argue. So, I mean, we saw that last night against UCLA, a much bigger, a much tougher defense, and now you get to see Kansas. I mean, I do like Marquette plus the points in this spot a little bit, especially because I've talked a lot about how Kansas, especially shooting the basketball, is not going to see much consistency. And what do you know? They're out shooting almost 50% from 3 to start the year. At some point, that's not going to last. And not that Marquette's
that sounds good coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, definitely didn't. So, I mean, a lot of those are coming from DeJuan Harris, which he started out, I think, in that Kentucky game, 5 for 5 from 3 or something crazy. So, yeah, surely that's going to last all season. So, I mean, in this spot, I think it's not the best matchup to expect a little bit of regression, but it's going to come at some point in a game where you need, I guess, a lot of points to keep up in this game, because I do like a shootout here. If that comes to fruition, they're going to have some trouble. So there's that. I mean, Oso down low has probably been a little better than I would say I expected for him filling in for Omax Prosper on the inside. So I don't think he's going to stop Hunter Dickinson necessarily, but I think it's going to be a closer battle than people realize in there. And again, this is going to be a game where you need points. I still do not trust Kansas's offense in a lot of these games.
Okay. Hunter Dickinson is the 2024 Wooden Award winner. Hunter Dickinson is a cocky private school kid from the DMV who thinks he's literally Shaquille O'Neal. And I think his game's going to translate terribly to the NBA. I think he can get away with it now playing against these college bozos, but once he gets to the league, I don't think he's going to be doing shit. I don't think any team is going to really see any value in his game. I don't. Do you disagree? Do you agree? What do you think?
I mean, he seems like a lefty Drew Timme, pretty much.
Yeah, and that doesn't sound like a guy who's playing good in the NBA. And Goots, I know this is you, brother. It will always be fuck the Matha, okay? Especially after Rodney Rice just left. Fuck the Matha, all right? Any late-night take-me-home pieces, Javon? I wouldn't mind a little sprink and bank on Toledo spread, but I'm not loving it enough to probably get to the counter as of right now. They're down from 4.5 to 2.5, though, against New Mexico and the Lobos, who continue to get respect on the lines and do not deliver. They continuously underperform game in, game out, but their offense is elite. They can put up a 100-piece pretty much any given night. So scary team to fade at times, very inconsistent. Gun to my head, I'm leaning Toledo, a very well-coached, very defensive-minded team. A lot of veterans on that squad. But I don't know if I want to fade New Mexico, man. That's a death wish.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if I love anything in that game, so I'll probably be staying away there. But yeah, I'd probably have to lean Toledo. Also, I think Jalen House is back tonight.
Is he?
Potentially. Yeah.
Okay. I would love to fade some bad news or fade some good news.
Yeah. I think he's played like one game. He's been out for the last handful. So him being back and that line potentially moving towards Toledo is interesting. Who are they playing, Freddie? Who are they playing?
You're telling me you haven't looked at the ice today?
It's tomorrow. There are no games today.
It's me who's not dialed. Okay.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving, so they're like all the NHL teams or Canadian teams that have Americans on them are headed back for travel today.
Okay.
Playing the Blackhawks. Dude.
Damn, Lindblom's like a Marquette. Okay. I mean, chats, it's not a recipe for success to fade that Marquette team. All they do is win and cover. They've been
not a recipe for success to fade Kansas either, to be fair.
No, it's not. But not saying Kansas isn't square, chat. I agree with you. I do think Kansas is a little square. But that's probably where I would lean in this spot. Let's go out there and get a big-time win for KJ. It's a tough couple weeks. So Kansas, I think they get it done, but you're scaring me a little bit. I heard squad ride today is ED over rebound. Sure. Why not just take it every fucking game? The guy is literally 8 feet tall. Why not? Honestly, don't hate it today. Any prize big squares you're eyeing today? Anything
no, but we can go through the board real quick. We got time.
Okay.
So
I'm down to go through the board. Oh, look at that. Look what just popped up right away. Sure.
11.5 boards.
It's ED today. Sure. 11.5. How does that make you feel, Javon? How does that square make you feel?
I mean, like, I'd never want to fade them. It's just I don't think this is the best matchup for them. Because, I mean, they're going to be pretty physical with them, which everybody still tries to do, and it doesn't work 90% of the time. But if there's any team that I would trust in the situation, it's definitely Tennessee. But I can't be fading them.
Syracuse does not cover today. I'm going to lay it with Gonzaga. I had to clear that one up real quick. Yeah, Gonzaga's going to beat the living fuck out of them. And no, Tiso, we don't need to go into the Duffy yet and take UMES. Okay, we got ranked teams playing today. We got good, solid basketball programs that we can wager money on. We don't need to go to the Shore yet. All right, keep that in your back pocket when we need it most. Do not force the Shore. If you force the Shore, it's not going to work. All right, and it seems forced, Tiso picks. It does.
Crazy.
It seems forced from Tiso. I'm just letting them know.
Definitely does.
Because I don't even know if they're playing. Yeah, they're not. I checked. Don't worry. You don't think I'm keeping tabs on the Shoreman?
You don't think he's locked, dude? You
don't think I know every fucking time and date when UMES is playing this year? Come on. Guys, I talked about this team. I knew every player on their team last year. I gassed them up. All right. Any other college basketball games that we missed, or do you want to go over some prize pick squares?
Scrolling through to make sure we did not miss any.
I cannot believe what I have seen in the second half of this UNCW and App State game. I mean, they're coming out and shooting the ball like I've never seen in my life. They are on fire. App State. I mean, they put up 25 points in the first 5 minutes of the half, dude, combined.
Jeez.
Javon, we got to talk about Maryland. You didn't talk about them yet.
Oh, I didn't talk about Maryland. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy today. I'm going to be that guy. I'm taking the Terps.
You're taking the dirty Terps.
This feels extremely similar to Oklahoma State yesterday when I was talking about that New Orleans game that they won by like 30. I mean, Maryland's coming off of, you could argue, their most embarrassing game. Not you could argue. It was the most embarrassing game of the season. They put up 40 against Villanova. Lost that game by 17. One of the most disgusting showings of basketball I think you've seen in college basketball this year. Right before that, lost outright to UAB. I mean, they obviously sucked this season. They're terrible, and now they're playing a UMBC team who's looked pretty competitive. So, like, just from a a spot perspective, seeing 17.5 up to 19.5 some places, it caught my eye. But especially because like UMBC lives and dies by the three. So like this is a game that I think there's going to be literally no in between. Like UMBC is going to almost win this game, or Maryland's going to win by 50. The one thing you can say about Maryland confidently is that you can hang their hat on your defense, especially when UMBC, they shoot a lot of threes, but they also have dominated on the inside with a little bit, especially scoring wise. And if you want to go and try and be dominant with Julian Reese or up against Julian Reese and Dante Scott, then be my guest, because I can assure you that's not going to work. They're going to be jacking threes up all game, and now they're going into Maryland, which is a tough place to play for anybody. Maryland hasn't been there the last couple games that they've been absolute moose shit, so I'm not trying to come and say that this team is extremely good, but they are playing at home, and this is a pretty fat line in my opinion. It screams Oklahoma State spot from last night, so I think they beat the shit out of UMBC.
Yeah, UMBC stinks. They probably will roll in the spots. Maryland, I know they're a defensive-minded team, but in year 2 of Kevin Willard, you're only going to see them get better, especially on the offensive side of the floor as they continue to develop. A lot of old guys on that team, a lot of guys who are sticking around. This Terps team is a squad we want to stick a freaking pin in for next season, because I think when these guys are all seniors, they're actually going to have a pretty fucking good squad. And they have a really good guard this season too from Virginia. I'm in on this Maryland team. I like the line move. UMBC, people forget this squad beat UVA back in the day in March Madness.
I don't know who forgets that.
People forget. They do.
I don't know if a single soul on this earth forgets that.
People forget it. Yep.
Yeah, give me the.
Ever since then, this team this program is going downhill. They're no bueno.
Yeah,
no bueno.
Yeah, they've been kind of good this season though. To their credit, I mean, they almost went and beat Louisville, which it's not really that much of an accomplishment, but almost went on the road and beat Louisville. Program like UMBC, that's a pretty big accomplishment. But I mean, they're pretty solid. Pretty solid. I mean, they spray threes, which is kind of my point here. Like they're going into Maryland to try and spray threes against a really tough defense. If that's how you're going to live and die, you're going to be dead in 5 seconds. And that's so give me the 0-4 ATS Terps in this one.
Sure. Then Mr. Beast is blaming me for his shitty bets. And Mr. Beast, you clicked the button, you locked in Chiefs ML. That was a shitty bet by you. Hey, you locked in Kelsey more than yards. That was a shitty bet by you that you locked in and clicked the button for. I don't feel bad. I lost way more money than you did because my units are fatter and yours are small. We move. You did say Javon is a walking W, though. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, we both had similar or the same record on our best bets yesterday. So it's not like I did anything better.
No bueno. Geotech, appreciate it, Beast. We got sub bangs from Draggeth Thy Nuts, giving out a sub to the community. Love reading off that name. Hysterical. I don't know what the hell was going on in your noggin, my man, when you came up with that name, but I tip my cap to that. Draggeth Thy Nuts, 617. Thank you for the sub bang, brother.
Like we got a banger right now happening in that McNeese game. Super high scoring affair.
Yeah, it was always that under, wasn't it?
No, not yet. But it's funny seeing it 8-7 at the under 12.
Jesus. What are you getting score updates in the future? What app are you using to check that data? No free ads now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the screen.
Oh, it's literally right up on there on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, they're at the game, so that makes sense. I need to get my fucking bifocals out to see that screen. All right. My unit is fatter is crazy. I mean, yeah, it is, but it is fatter. So.
Speaking of totals, just to mention this before we go to the Prize Picks board, you see the total we have in the NBA today?
Which in the NBA?
Yeah. The Pacers Hawks total is 252.
Is that the highest total of the year? It has to be. I haven't seen anything in the 50s.
That's got to be the highest total ever.
That could be the highest total to ever exist.
I don't know if I've seen anything higher.
You want to take it?
I mean, I feel like I have to take it out of principle.
I feel like I'm legally obligated to take that total.
Yeah.
I mean, these teams just keep cashing out. I mean, Indiana's cashed 5 straight overs. They are 11-1 to the over this season. Indiana is. Yeah. That is
the highest over ever was 250.5.
No way.
So I think that is the highest. Yeah.
Gootsalytics.
Yeah.
Love to see
Gootsalytics is crazy.
Yes, sir.
Good work, Goots. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, my man.
it's not like this being like a super high total doesn't make sense because both these teams drop 130 a game, but it's just it might have to be a principal play there.
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice. Might have to target that puppy. Maybe even target some prize pick squares in that game. Okay. College basketball squares. Any chance you want to back my buddy Graham Ike, aka Joel Embiid 2.0, and his points today?
Joel Embiid. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem doing that. What
Do you like his matchup against Syracuse? I do.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not your Syracuse team with Jesse Edwards on the inside today. I'll tell you that much. I don't know what it was with them yesterday, but he was like super aggressive early on. I mean, he had like 10 points at like the under 12, I think it was yesterday against Purdue, and just they flipped the switch and started going with a completely different offensive game plan. So, I mean, not a coach, not in the huddle, but I would say that was easily their best, most consistent offense in that game. So maybe go back to it, especially when you have a little softer of a matchup on the inside. So today I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the classic Graham Ike thinks he's the greatest of all time and takes the ball every single possession game.
And that's what I want him to do. I'm going to be honest, more than 15.5 points. Would not mind backing a guy like Trent Brown, although he's been kind of hot, the guard on SIU against JMU, doesn't play a lick of defense. Honestly, any squares in that game would probably be a decent look, but JMU cannot guard a parked car, Javon. I mean, they were letting those Radford guards do whatever they wanted in that last contest. Would not mind backing an SIU guard, and they only have one up. Trent Brown.
Let me ask you though, just talking about the script of that game. So you said you like kind of leaned on defense there from SIU in a slower tempo. Would you rather take an SIU square or fade a JMU square?
Fading a JMU square would also apply. Not opposed to that one bet. We could fade a guy like Michael Green, the Robert Morris transfer, who's had some really good matchups against no-shit defenses, and will probably face the best guard defenses or the best guard defenders he's faced all season today. I wouldn't mind doing that.
I don't hate that at all.
Any chance you could check for a bump? Did they even bump these CBB guys?
They do. Just, I mean, not too often on the smaller ones they put up. No bump there.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind fading Michael Green, who's had a really easy time coming over from Robert Morris. Easy transition against some no-shit defenses. I wouldn't mind fading him one bit against this SIU defense. Fade a wing player. SIU has great perimeter defense. Well, that would be a wing player. That might be the point guard. That might be the point guards. We might have to go with a guy like Friedel if we want to make that move.
I mean, they're all on the perimeter, so I don't think it would matter. But,
I mean, I guess. I don't know why I was thinking wing. I guess top of the key would still be perimeter. I don't know why I was thinking wing. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like fading? You know what I like fading too? Guys with relatively small, I guess, sample sizes. Like they're just shooting super efficiently to start the season and kind of relying on that, which I guess both of those guys between Green and Friedel would kind of fall under. So I wouldn't mind doing either of those one bit.
I definitely would not mind fading Michael Green, who's coming over from the worst conference, who's been playing out of his fucking mind. And he's got to go up against Xavier Johnson, the fifth-year senior, who's got plenty of speed and size to keep up with little man Michael Green, who's like 5'9". I think he's literally 5'9". I'm going to confirm that right now.
Literally 5'9".
Let's see. I think he actually might be 5'9". I hope I'm not making that up, but I remember reading that when I was reading about the Dukes about 2 weeks ago. Okay, he's 6 feet listed. I bet he's 5'11" then on a good day. He's going to get absolutely clamped up today. I think we fade this kid. Michael Green. Michael Green being. Graham Ike, more than points I like, Javon. Is there another Geyserman who's looking at you funny on this board? I love looking at CBB squares. Not that many options, right? Kind of keeps you locked in.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you locked in. I was still kind of looking at the JMU game for a second. I don't know. The more I look at Friedel, the more he intrigues me a little more than Michael Green. Not that I think either one's a better pick than the other, but I would not be mad at sticking both of those guys at an entry, to be honest with you.
Taking both those guys, both JMU dudes, fading them both.
Not stacking, but just sticking them somewhere, putting them in an entry.
Okay.
Would love to fade them both.
Okay. It sounds to me like you really want to fade whatever the fuck his name is. Was it Bickerstaff?
No, I don't want to fade Bickerstaff.
Friedel?
Yeah.
That's who you wanted to fade. Okay. You'd rather fade Friedel than Michael Green?
Yeah, but I think they're both pretty solid shots.
Okay. Talking about Maryland here. Thinking about a Deshaun Harris-Smith breakout game, the 5-star commit, who really has not had a crazy, great game yet for this squad, and he's going to be going up against that no shit UMBC defense. Wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. But I guess the one problem in my mind would be the potential blowout for a guy like him, who's not seen necessarily much volume to this point this season. That scares me a little bit.
Yeah, looks like his minutes have been going up a little bit. He's coming off a terrible, terrible game against Villanova where he went 1 for 6 and stopped shooting. Played 30 minutes in that game now. Maybe we'll stay off the freshman. That kid's going to be a stud, though. He's going to be leading their offense for years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we're talking guys who I think should dominate early and often, even if this starts to get out of hand pretty quickly, I mean, I would love to just make it easy and go with Julian Reese.
He's also coming off with some new shit games.
Yeah,
I need to see UMBC's starting lineup size from the last game.
Yeah, I mean, they're not
Looking up.
big, like, necessarily. I don't know who's going to start because they've been going back and forth. Like, sometimes they start Kadarius Smith, who's 6'8", more like of an offensive guy who, like, can score for them. And when he's in there, he's, like, their main scoring option. But the other time it's Max Lorca-Lloyd, who is – I mean, he's big, but he's, like, not physical.
They're both 6'8", 6'9". Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. Okay. Jay Vogel, keep your mouth shut down there. What are you doing saying things like that? Take it back. Take it back. We cannot be saying these words. Immediate App State bucket after you said that. Immediate.
W Fat Girls.
Ooh. W update. What's up, Kyron? Been working and tubing and late. Can I get a recap of the early NCAA plays that haven't started yet? Just a quick one. No, you can go back and rewatch BTL though. Like I say on here once a week. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. I would not mind taking Julian Reese, Javon, in a bounce back spot. I don't know if I'm rushing to do it against these two. I mean, Julian Reese is also only 6'9". I don't know. Dude.
Yeah, he's just so much more physical than both of those guys. Because, I mean, realistically, the reason, if they do end up starting the offensive option, that's a problem. It'll be cool in the scoring end, I guess you could say, but he is going to bully him. It's also like every time I see – it's not the same team, but I guess you can even go back to like the first game against the Mount, who was a little bit smaller this season. But that's how they get their offense going early in games when they're at home and they have a good matchup on the inside. They go to Julian Reese. So, I mean, the only concern anytime you bet Julian Reese is foul trouble because he's very undisciplined. But if that happens, I will eat it and move on.
Okay. You want to take any Tennessee guys or no?
I wouldn't mind taking Tennessee guys. I know Fruity was saying look at Dalton Squares, which I assume they're, green as hell. I mean, it's definitely nothing I'm willing to fade with that guy.
I mean, I definitely don't want to take those squares after looking at them, but what's a game we think there's going to be a bazillion points in? And why don't we go from there? There was one game that had a bazillion points, and I forget what it was. So I'm going to scroll through and find it. I mean, Syracuse Gonzaga is going to have a bazillion points. So I don't know how we don't take a square or two from that. I don't know if you like Graham EK fantasy score / PRA better than just points. If we think he's just going to go absolutely bonkers against Syracuse, but I definitely would like to have Graham EK in here in some capacity. Not really in a rush to back a guy like Judah Mintz, who's very public. I'd honestly probably rather go with a guy like JJ Starling, who's an elite scorer coming over from Notre Dame to do something today. Any opinions on those two gents?
I'd probably say Graham EK PRA because I want his boards there too because I think he's going to dominate there too. It's like I want his boards to be a part of it, but I think he's going to be a pretty aggressive scorer there too. I guess it's just a question of if they're going to go to him for the whole game. So I honestly think rebounding might be my stronger angle there with EK.
Okay. I mean, who's playing fucking center for Syracuse today?
I mean, nobody that's going to match up with Graham EK, I can tell you that much.
Nobody matches up with Graham EK.
Not a soul. Even Zach Edey didn't. When they were feeding him, he was dominating. So, I mean, if you're getting what? I don't know if they're going to put Chris Bell at the big just to be a little stretch, or they're going to put McLeod again like they put yesterday against Tennessee, or what the option is going to be there. But, like, those guys are not great defensive options. McLeod is soft. Chris Bell is an offensive guy. So, I mean, there's no Graham EK matchup in my head.
Motherfucker McLeod is 7'4".
Yeah, he's just ass.
Shit. Okay.
He also doesn't like log minutes. He's just kind of there and in like little spurts, it seems like.
Guys, I've never seen a team be this good offensively than App State right now. I've never seen a team operate this efficiently. I've never seen a team score this quickly and this much. They're about to drop a 90 burger in this fucking game, dudes. What?
Jesus.
Appalachian State is about to drop a 90 burger in this game. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
That's wild.
And I mean, UNCW is doing their job. They have 51 points. I've never seen a fucking team play this bad a defense than UNCW. They should get rid of the program. They should cut everybody. They should send them home. They're terrible. They're terrible. Yeah, they're dialed, dude. They're just App State riding that wave from fucking JMU upset on the gridiron. Golly. All right. Well, we have Friedel. We have EK. Do we have anything else?
Don't think so.
We're going to turnover for App State, and they're going to score again. Guys, this is going to be so sweaty. It's 79-51. So that's what, 130 with 2.5 left. And I have under 137.5. Oh, my God. That's going to be so sweaty. App State has the ball. They're shooting. Would you look at that? A mid-range floater from the free throw line like he's fucking Michael Jordan. What?
What the fuck is going on in that game?
There's no way he just made a teardrop layup from the fucking free throw line. Slow it down. You're up 30. Why are you throwing a full court pass and a dunk? Why? You were up 81-51 with 2 minutes left. Run the fucking clock out. What are we doing, dudes?
This is like a part 2 steam grabs.
What the fuck are we doing?
We're at 134. Oh, yeah, GG's. GG's.
134 with 2 minutes left. Nice. App State running like they're fucking down 30. Bunch of idiots. They're about to get hurt out there. That's literally how you get hurt, is when you're up 30 points and you're sprinting down the court, running fast break, full court passes like you're Kevin Love and dunking it like you're Shaquille O'Neal. That's how you get hurt.
GG's.
Fuck. Whoever in chat said the under has life, you fucked us. You are the problem. You are the problem.
That's
God
unreal.
Damn it. Another free over for the people. All you got to do is look at a game for 3 seconds and take whatever the fucking first thing that pops in your head is and you hit it back. Squares do not deserve coins. I'm tired of seeing them win. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. Are there any other Prize Pick squares you want to talk about?
I'm looking at them now because I think a bad or not a bad Prize Picks game would be that Kansas Marquette game. I mean, there's a damn near 160 total in that one. So you got to figure out who it's going to be. I would like to take something, as much as I hate backing their offense because it's super weird in my eyes. Like, somebody's going to score for Kansas against Marquette. Somebody's going to kind of have to. So I would love to take Kansas guy. Obviously, I'm not taking Hunter Dickinson because he is not a player that I want to root for tonight, but could be some options. This feels like a game where you get a really good Kevin McCullough game, which I don't know if that's going to come off of everything or just scoring, but I feel like he's going to be all over the court tonight because he kind of has to be to them to stay in this game.
I don't disagree. Kansas squares just scare me because they have 5 NBA players in their starting rotation, and who the fuck knows who's going to be jacking shots or, getting their volume or hitting them. There's too many guys to pick from. It scares me.
Do they?
I'm going to take the wrong guy.
5 NBA players?
Yeah.
5?
Maybe not in their starting lineup, but they have 5 NBA players on their roster.
I don't think they do.
And I'm not a Hunter Dickinson guy. I don't think he's going to be good, but he will get a shot.
Count him as an NBA guy. I think at most a guy that will actually see an NBA contract. I think Hunter Dickinson, you could argue, is the only one.
You're telling me that KJ Adams isn't going to get a fucking G League contract?
That's why I said NBA. I wasn't counting G League. G League, KJ Adams, G League, Kevin McCullough, G League, DeJuan Harris, G League.
DeJuan Harris, G League. That counts NBA for me. Minor leagues.
Sure. Well, that's 3.
Counts.
That's 3 in the starting lineup. KJ starting.
Nick Timberlake isn't going to the league. As much of a glue guy as he is from Towson.
He sucks.
You're telling me they don't have a 5-star sneak guard who's probably going to be going to the league who I don't know about?
Who? I mean, they have Elmarco Jackson in their starting lineup. Like, solid defensive option, but he's a role player.
What about Johnny Furphy or Jamari McDowell? One of those guys has to be a 5-star freshman.
I mean, there's Furphy's a freshman and he's decent, but like, he's just not that good.
All right. Well, 3 or 4, not 5. 86 to 53. That would be an over.
GG's.
Right? Correct the math on that one. Like, how did they just get to 86? I don't understand. This fucking team, oh no, another offensive rebound. Nice. I just don't understand it. Yeah, it's fucking caked. It's fucking caked. I cannot believe that shit did not hit. I really can't. Chiote, I'm with you, man. Crabs, I give up. The squares win. Squares just put a fork in me. I mean, it really is, I guess, that simple where you just log into your book, you just take the better team, you just take what makes sense, and you make money this week. That's just how it goes. I don't get it. Yeah. We got 2 CBB squares that I think we can agree upon with that EK and Frito angle. Is there a late night Geyserman that we could add to the arsenal here and make it a 3-piece before we move on to the squad ride?
I mean, I would be down to put Kevin McCullough in there, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
I would say I would like his fantasy score so we can get stocks as a part of the score.
Okay.
But he's been all over the court this season for them because he has to, because they don't really realistically have many options if DeJuan Harris is facilitating and not going 6 for 6 from the field in the first 30 minutes like he did against Kentucky. McCullough is going to have to score, especially because like he's going to get, like, Hunter Dickinson's going to get his on the inside, but Oso is not a slouch down there. So, like, if I think about scoring options in this game, you're going to push on the fast break, which Kevin McCullough this season so far has done a great job at leading with help from DeJuan Harris too. And he's just going to have to work himself, whether that's finding the stray threes from a couple of the role players that they've been great at finding and shooting or whatever it is. But Kevin McCullough, this just screams a Kevin McCullough game.
Well, at least Mr. Beast cashed after talking shit to me for an hour and a half, and he live bet the play that I gave him, and it hit.
Hilarious.
If that doesn't perfectly sum up gambling world, I don't know what does. Unbelievable. The guy who talks shit wins, and the guy who puts in the work loses. Difficult. Kevin McCullough, PRA, in a game with a
Take
total this
fantasy.
high.
Take fantasy.
Fantasy, yes. 35.5 fantasy.
Yeah, I want
What
blocks
was
and
tops?
steals. I want blocks and
Okay.
steals as part of that for sure.
Cap-wise, at least you cashed. At least you cashed. All right. I think you were on the – oh, no. Was he on the under with me, or was he on the over and just cashed? I'm assuming he was on the under
because they had a 3 at the buzzer.
Yeah, I just watched that 3 because I was watching the stream from 1990 because it's 5 minutes behind. That sucks. And that does not make me feel better. That actually makes me feel even more angry because Cap-wise deserves a win.
Yeah. Well, I'm praying that my under in McNeese doesn't have the same Mima second half fate.
Yeah, I mean, if they turn into App State, a.k.a. the fucking Warriors, I cannot believe App State just scored 53 points in a half of basketball. If you look and see that roster and you watch what they just did, you will be mesmerized. They might have an ESPN 30 for 30 about this game we just watched, about how electric and efficient this team just was. I can't fucking believe that. I can't believe it.
I'm holding you to that, Fat Girls. Holding you to
I
that.
can believe Kevin McCullough is getting more than 35.5 fantasy points in a game with this high of a total. It's going to be almost like an NBA game in this spot, in my opinion. So I'm with you. If McCullough's the guy we're going with, if he's the guy you like and trust, I'm in. I'm going to make this a 3-piece if you want. Graham EK, more than PRA. Noah Friedel, less than 9 points. And Kevin McCullough, more than 35.5 fantasy score. You guys got a game starting up soon, within an hour. You got a game starting up right after that, around 6 Eastern, and then you got a late night geyser. Okay, this is going to take you through the entire CBB slate, folks. If you're trying to get involved, first of all, download props.cash, figure it out. We're going to throw the graphic up right now and talk about it for a sec. If you haven't downloaded this freaking app, you must hate hitting Prize Pick slumps. It really is that simple. You must hate seeing greened out entries. Because I'll tell you what, Javon, until I started using props.cash, I don't think I hit a single fucking 4 geyser ever. Ever. You've seen some of the runs I've gone on over the last couple months. Trust me, dude, it hasn't just been me. Okay, I've had a lot of help from these guys up here at props.cash, who, by the way, just got 100,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure they're doing a cool giveaway right now. So go over to the props.cash Twitter and see if you can get some merch or free cash in their giveaway, and make sure you use promo code BOOKIT for 25% off your first month. Why would you not try it? Okay, you guys are spending fucking hundreds, $200 of dollars on units for one game. You can't invest $15 for a whole month of props.cash to help you hit more bets. That sounds like an investment I'd want to make. Grow up, get a subscription. All right.
There we go.
The app gave you the App State under. No, the app actually liked the App State over. So
yeah, props.cash was all over the App State over today.
Jedders, man, you're gonna make me freak out. You're gonna make me do it. All right. Action. Bowling Green, Western Michigan, shit game. Looks like that spread really has not moved much. Maybe we'll see Bowling Green close -3. Either way, it's probably Western Michigan or nothing here. I don't mind the under either, although it kind of did open up higher. We've seen a lot of these MAC games just not be that exciting this season. A lot of unders. I feel like all the talent, Javon, transferred to Power 5 schools with how easy it is now to move around. And we've just seen a lack of offensive talent in the MAC. If anybody has any sort of skill, they got picked off by some coaches from the Power 5s. In my opinion, these offenses really stink. I wouldn't mind taking both of these unders in the MAC tonight, especially the Eastern Michigan and Buffalo under. There might not be 30 points in that game. It might be first team to score double digits in this spot, in this game. These fucking offenses stink. Love the spread coming down for Eastern Michigan as well, up to 4.5 from +8. Good sign, I think, for the under as well there. Both these teams cannot score for shit.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like both of those unders too, especially, I mean, there's a big ground game angles, I guess you could argue in either game, of really 4 teams that are not potent through the air, which you could say for a lot of the teams that are going to be playing on Tuesday, Wednesday nights in the MAC. But I really like a lot of run game from all 4 of these teams. So I especially am with you in liking the Eastern Michigan Buffalo under. I think that's going to be a pretty close game. That spread coming down from EMU is only, I think, like you said, pretty telling for the under in this game, because that's the only way I think they're going to keep themselves in this game is by just mucking it up and keeping possessions long and low and kind of on the ground there. So, yeah, I despise these games, but both the unders would seem like the play.
Yep, especially that EMU and Buffalo under, which is down to 36.5. Gross. Somebody in chat asked for us to repeat this entry. I will do that right now. So get your freaking prize picks out and lock this puppy in. Graham Ike, more than 23.5 PRA. He is the large gentleman on Gonzaga who is a stud. We're going Noah Friedel, and we're fading him. Less than 9 points. JMU stud against this absolutely clamps SIU Salukis defense. Good fucking luck, Friedel. You're not getting a 10-piece. You're not even going to get a 9-piece. Less than 9 points there. And then Kevin McCullough for the late nights chat. More than 35.5 fantasy score. This game has a 160 total, and for good reason. They're going to be running. They're going to be scoring. And McCullough has been a stud, a centerpiece of this offense in recent weeks. He's going to continue that tonight against this Musha Marquette defense with plenty of points. 3-piece. Hold the fry. All right? Someone find me a Radford Morgan State stream and you're goated. Capwise Nick or / Capwise. It could be Ben. The only 2 places I'd recommend would be obviously checking the team's Twitters. Sometimes they just post random video links, like the App State game that I just got to watch in front of my face and see the shitty ass bet. That game, that team tweeted out a random link. Also check their Facebooks. Sometimes they're streaming live on Facebook, which is hilarious to say. I wish I was joking.
It's on Flow Sports, that's why.
Oh, I also have a Flow Sports subscription if you want it. So there he is. Travis Kelce, more than yards, and the Chiefs ML. Sure.
You couldn't pick a different hoodie today, Javon?
Yeah, you're the one who came in here, man. What are we doing? You're matching. That's cute.
Wow. Wait, are you wearing a Redwood sweatshirt?
Yeah.
With you fuckers?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on here? If you would have asked me if I'd be on a fucking stream with Javon and Trent when they're both wearing Redwoods hoodies and I'm not, I would say, what the fuck parallel universe am I in? What the hell is going on? I need one of those.
Unreal,
Shit.
man.
Bro, yeah, people sleep on this champion PLL merch. It's elite.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Two Redwoods hoodies and a Sam Houston State jersey is insane.
Two Redwoods sweatshirts and a Sam Houston jersey walk into a bar. That sounds like the weirdest joke about a star.
Yeah,
God damn, man. What the fuck are we doing?
Is
This is why I'm making merch, Trent. Yeah, this is a Gopperton. All right. And I hope you fucking tailed UCLA last night, Trent, because they actually smacked.
Whale. Good shit.
Let's go. We got the coins back for the Chiefs, at least.
Yeah.
Graham Ike, who you know actually, Trent's mini Joel Embiid from Wyoming a couple years ago. We're actually backing him today on his PRA. We're fading Friedel against the absolute clamps of the Salukis and fading and selling high on JMU. And then we're backing Kevin McCullough, kind of a square, but in a game with a total at 160. It's going to be more like an NBA game here. Plenty of points to go around. And Kevin McCullough, he's been doing everything for this team. Rebounds, points, blocks, assists, steals, the whole fucking 9 yards. He's going to be everywhere tonight, like Javon was saying. So little 3-piece for the people in CBB, Trent. Could be the difference. Don't sleep on him.
Lance McCullers fantasy score.
Don't sleep on Big Lance. Sure. All right. Friedel going yards. Don't fade 86 a cent.
Did you see that? Did you see that, Krabs? TJ Friedel got an MVP vote.
No way TJ Friedel got an MVP vote. What?
Yeah, I mean, it was from a
Reds guy.
Yeah. These people shouldn't be
every
allowed to
MVP
vote.
voter. Every MVP
Those people
voter
shouldn't be allowed to vote.
I saw like a video about it, calling it out. I think the Just Baseball guys might have done it, but
I think it was them.
Yeah, literally talking about how every local writer just voted for their own players. Their own team's players.
So what the fuck is the point of even having local writers vote? You know they're going to pick the guy they're writing about all fucking year, whether it's biased and on purpose or not. That's the dumbest system I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. Really,
what are we doing, dude? Krabs, can you at least say Friedel just once, please? Friedel. You're welcome. I hope that made your day, you weirdo. All right. Let's move, Javon. Let's groove. We got a squad ride to craft up. That was just the tweet.
There it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Marcelo Zuna, MVP votes, huh?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He deserves a vote.
From the Braves. Oh, Hassan Kim.
That makes sense. What the fuck are we doing? Although Hassan Kim had a career year. Gotta tip the cap, but nowhere near an MVP. The fuck?
Wow. Bryce Harper, Nationals.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, like, what is this list?
Unreal.
Who is running the show here for the MVP votes in baseball? Typical MLB dropping the ball. What else is new, right? And Corbin just got his 10th cap. K-Camp, people forget I lost $14,000 because of my own fucking biases. People forget that. There were 700 other squares I could have put in that all would have hit. I don't think we could have had better angles for those fucking MLB season squares, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Squad Rod. You ready?
What we got?
Sure. Goots, run that shit. Or not.
Well, that's sick. Where did that fucking come from?
How about that for a little intro? Watch out.
K-Camp, you just got me fucking so riled up, bro. You just, Prize Picks, like, support, asking about Giddy, and they said 30-minute rule.
No shot.
There's literally no fucking way.
They're pulling that.
I'm DMing my sources here.
Make a call.
There's no way.
There's no way those fuckers in India know about a goddamn technical foul.
Probably not. No. They probably got a call in themselves. That's
That
crazy.
would be most.
Javon, do we want to take that Kansas Marquette over?
I could be down to take that over. So I guess we're split on the side there.
Yeah. I think we both agree there's going to be some serious points in that contest.
Yeah.
We're kind of split on Tennessee and Purdue too, man, which stinks.
Yeah. Two of the best games.
Um,
Trent, you got any whales, man? You locked?
The over in the Pacers Hawks game.
you can put that in the squad, right? Actually,
Be down.
I'm good with that.
Is that the
We were
highest?
talking about that earlier, Trent.
Is that the highest total of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Goots Analytics earlier. Goots came up and gave the report, largest total ever in
Wow.
basketball history. Crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So we got Indiana and Atlanta over 252.5. Jesus Christ.
This is a
That's
difficult slate.
bonkers.
This is a difficult slate.
No hockey today? That stinks.
None.
You could put that at action under in Eastern Michigan and Buffalo.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
not
be
fun,
down
but
for
it's gonna
that.
hit.
I'd be down for that.
That's one of those that chat's not going to vote for because it's not fun, but it's going to be green as a gulp.
I mean, we have a lot of not fun plays that we think are going to be green today. Like, I mean, I don't know who the hell is voting for Maryland laying 19, but
Well, that was one of the
That's
ones
just
I was
not
just
good.
looking at, though. That could be an option.
could be.
An option. Yeah, I'm scrolling through the CBB. I think we put the Salukis in there as well, plus 5.5. You were once against the Salukis, though, Javon. Are you okay? Did I change your mind?
I wasn't against them. I was just going to stay away because I hate fading JMU, and I felt like the Radford spot was the one to do it. But I did like your pitch, and I'll trust you on that one.
This is just another nasty spot for JMU. Neutral site, old defensive-minded team, clamps, veterans they got to go against who have been playing great. Do not let the Salukis get hot.
It's fair.
Let's throw it in there.
I'm down. See those comments.
Let's throw that puppy in there. We could go Maryland. We could go.
I'm so fucking mad, K-Camp.
Dude's about to go Otani on his chair.
Javon,
Netflix on 30
Maryland,
minutes.
New Mexico. What are we thinking here?
I mean, you know what I'm thinking. I'm biased because it's my own play, but at Maryland, it literally screams Oklahoma State from yesterday, which was air.
Okay. I'm in. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. You have 2 minutes to lock in the squad ride vote. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Get active. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's awesome. Come over to the Twitch and get your vote in for the squad ride. We need every vote we can get. We need you guys sharp as a tack, clicking the right buttons as always. 5 plays, 5 winners. Kansas Marquette over 157.5. Indiana Atlanta over 252.5. EMU and Buffalo under 36.5. SIU, the Salukis, plus 5.5. And the Terps, the Dirty Terps, minus 19.5. That should go well. 5 plays, 5 winners. That trip can only help you on.
I mean, I was looking at the NBA over get out to an early lead. I'm glad to see the other two picking up steam here.
Oh, you didn't like that play, huh? You didn't like that going in there.
I mean, I like it. It's just like it feels on a slate like today. I feel like everybody's going to want to be taking that. It's like I want to take it, but it could be some.
Yo, Crabs, the Eagles still making the playoffs? Yeah, they should. They should probably make the playoffs. They're going to get absolutely destroyed in the first round, though. It's going to really suck and get all your hopes up for no reason, and it's going to crush your heart and soul. And I cannot wait for it.
I wonder who they're going to play because they're probably going to bye because the rest of the NFC blows outside of the Lions.
Yeah. Chat, hurry up, get your votes in. Go, go, go. We got 1 minute. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Make sure you guys stick around, okay, for the third stream. Plenty of plays to talk about. We got NBA, we got college, we got Maction, we got this, we got that, we got Prize Pick Squares, Javon. Make sure the chat sticks around for the third stream. Okay, we got Trent cooking up some winners for the people. I like where his head's at. You asked him for one whale, and he gave you a play that we already liked. It could be to that.
Could be locked. Could be locked. I don't know how he's going to survive today. He hates college basketball cakes. It's going to have to be all in the NBA.
Our job today is to convince Trent to take a CBB play. That's our job. I think we could do it. I got him to take UCLA last night, and they covered and won or covered. So he's probably feeling good about CBB right now. Well, that's our job today, though, Javon. We'll get Trent to tail a CBB play. All right. What's the BTL schedule this week? I don't know yet, but we'll be on here tomorrow. Right, Javon?
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Cool. Same time, same place tomorrow, chat. And we will be seeing. We're going with the Indiana and Atlanta over 252.5 for the squad rides. We're going to the league, the professional association. All right. Love to see it, chat. We'll catch you guys at the counter over 252.5 in Indiana and Atlanta. Stick around for the third stream. Same time, same place tomorrow for BTL.